Well, my involvement is, in this particular case, is to coordinate a national research program funded by the Terry Fox Foundation to find new drugs that might be active for glioblastoma and get them into clinical trials for testing on GBM patients in Canada. So that's my role. The Weiss Laboratory here at the University of Calgary is one of the laboratories in this network, and one of the very good ones. We have labs here in Calgary, and laboratories at UBC at the Genome Sciences Centre at the British Columbia Cancer Agency in Toronto, and also in Kingston. So it's a network. We work together as a team to try to bring drugs into clinical trials for GBM. Terry Fox funds this program. I coordinate the program, and that's my role overall. The particular drug that we're interested in today and talking about today and will be going into clinical trial is, the work was really done in this laboratory. So I take no credit for the work, other than I'm delighted that we have, we may have a compound that looks interesting. Yes, well, it takes a while. It will take a little while for the trial to ramp up. We have to write a protocol, and there's still some work to be done. I'm hoping that the trial will open sometime in the new year, but beyond that, I can't be certain. And it's taken a couple of years, I think, to get to this point. Some of the ideas behind this observation were percolating in this laboratory 3 and 4 years ago, but have come to fruition in the last 6 months. So yes, it's a slower process than one would like. But the trial itself, I'm hoping will be open next spring sometime. There are no national boundaries. We're studying this compound. They're studying other compounds. We share information, and all of us are, in our own way, looking to find something that's truly active. You mentioned that this is a phase 1, phase 2 study, which means the phase 1 portion is just to see whether it's safe for patients, and in the phase 2 portion, they might run concurrently, but the phase 2 portion really asks the question, does it work against the tumor? So is it safe? Does it work? And if the answer is yes, then the compound would go to a next phase of testing called a phase 3 trial, where it's compared to standard treatment. Now in this case, I think what we would do is actually add it to standard treatment. So surgery, radiation, temozolomide would be the standard initial treatment for glioblastoma. So this drug would be added, surgery, radiation, temozolomide, plus this AZD compound. And then we would compare that group, which might have several hundred patients, to a similar sized group of patients with GBM who get standard treatment only. And of course what we want to see is that treatment improves. Patients live longer, live better with the new drug added than not added. But it may not be that way. It could be that the results are equivalent. So we do the trials to know for sure. Right. The laboratory work sets the stage, but the definitive testing occurs in patients. Oh, that's an interesting question. Into most of these big trials, I should say that these trials are going to be run by the NCIC Clinical Trials Group at Queen's University. This is a top-tier cancer cooperative clinical trials group, and one of the top half dozen such entities in North America. So they will run the trial. But the way they usually set up these trials, if we got to the phase 3 stage where we have, let's say, 200 or 300 patients in the trial, is there are points along the way in the trial, a third of the way through, half the way through, when we take an early look at the data, and there are early stopping rules built into these trials. So they might stop early if the drug were active, So if you could already see 1/3 into the trial that it was going to be a success, then you would stop the trial. If you could see 1/3 into the trial that it was going to be a failure or was too toxic for patients, then there are also mechanisms built in to stop the trial at that stage, either because it works or because it doesn't work or is harmful. So these trials are set up in a way to get the right answer, but also to consider what's best for patients.